Welcome to the Shifter, everybody. I'm Will, and I don't know that guy. If he wants to
I'm Robert.
introduce himself,
Yeah, I'm Robert. I'm Robert
you
this
are
week.
not my mother's
We
boyfriend person.
we can be whoever we want to be, sir.
That is true. May I please be myself? I love the shoes
No.
that I fill and the life that I lead, and I'm very proud of the man that I've become.
Oh wow, this just got emotional. I'm proud of you. This is a big
You know who
step.
should be proud of the man that they become? Austin Dillon. Let me tell you something about that.
Oh no. Go ahead, tell him something.
No, no. Yeah, we got to kick off the show with obviously we're going to talk about the Austin Dillon penalty first. But Matt, real quick, if you'd like to run through the sponsors, just get it out that way. Yeah. Mhm.
All right. So we will have one of our sponsors posted at the end of the clip post because I have a very embarrassing picture of them from their volleyball practice today, and that would be Bree, who made our logo. No, she will not be at the end of our thing. Me and Dante just saw her dead on the floor as we were leaving our workout. Um, Milan, go watch her show that came out like 20 years ago. If you haven't watched it yet, you just I don't know if you're going to, but you should. Will has not watched it yet. I would like that to be announced on the show. Will has not watched it yet. He has also not looked at any of Terrell's clothes on Grateful Studios. I have looked at them, and you guys should go buy them because they're cool. I
Terrell
just
looks at me a lot.
all right. So I'm on to Ant's YouTube, which Will has also never looked at. Wow, Ant. Will has just not looked at any of these sponsors. In fact, the only reason he's looked at Bree's Instagram is because I showed it to him before she made the logo. Also, finally, Ken's YouTube channel, which I do not know if he's posted on recently. But Will has also not looked at that. Now go check that out. Will, do you have anything to say for yourself? You're not supporting any of our sponsors that support our show lovingly and supportively and professionally and other words that mean cool and awesome.
I don't have anything to say about that, but I do have something to say about this. If you are a parent of a child, specifically in elementary school, and they get in trouble, the teacher's right. Your
Um,
child's not an angel.
I would also like to shout out Jordan, who is going through her first few weeks of teaching. She is Will's girlfriend. He does support
He
her,
is.
unlike our other sponsors.
Well, I love her. Now love these other sponsors. That's right. I'm going on the
So you're
record and
telling me
saying
you
it.
don't love Terrell?
Now, there's no need to be going around. Look, let's just get okay. So, Austin Dillon this past, uh, I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but did you know that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars? I'm
Guys,
sorry.
you know what? Actually, you don't have to explain this because we
Did you know
spent
that
38
Juan
minutes
Pablo
talking about
Montoya
what
hit the jet
Austin
dryer?
Dillon did. That's okay. Well, I'll go ahead and say that since you made that joke. Juan Pablo Montoya will be returning at Watkins Glen to drive for 2311 Racing, which we will be talking about 2311 Racing a lot in this episode. One for
Yeah,
good
and
reasons and
also,
one for bad.
if you're still making legitimate like jet dryer jokes in the year of our Lord 2024, grow up. Juan's one of the greatest race car drivers in history. Shut up. like, anyway, was so obviously this past weekend, Austin Dillon, Junks Joey Logano, and Denny Hamlin in the last set of corners to win at Richmond. Now, I did hear something very interesting. Because I got to catch up on podcasts a little bit. Listen to Door Bumper Clear and how they talked about that, and specifically how like Brett Griffin, who actually obviously he spotted for Austin Dillon this weekend. Um, yeah, NASCAR should have just like this shouldn't have been a 3 day process. It literally should have been on the cooldown lap saying, "Hey, no, you're not going to win that way." Uh, insert whoever, Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, blah blah blah. They're the winner.
Oh,
Um,
before we say the penalty, we need to preface with there will be an appeal hearing up at the time of this recording in tomorrow. So this could change, but any changes that will be made will be said on the next episode. So you can go
yeah,
ahead.
which obviously I'll go ahead and say this now. There, if NASCAR makes the crazy decision here, there will be an emergency episode to talk about that. I'm fairly confident this appeal is going to get denied. There have been appeals with far much more salt to them that have been swiftly denied. I'm sorry you don't have a case. The SMT data backs up the fact that he junked both of them. I know that some people were saying that in qualifying and practice, he was driving just as hard into the corner. No, he wasn't. I'm sorry. That's just not true. Um, but that being said, it was announced, I guess it would have been Wednesday of last week because they were going to announce it on Tuesday and they pushed it back that Austin Dillon would have his playoff eligibility, or at least the lock-in from the win removed. They were going to, or that they do still technically call him the winner, which we said on the show. There's no point in taking away the win. Like them taking away the win from Denny 2 years ago was stupid. Because we all saw who went across the finish line first. The same as like the whole Michigan thing in college football. We saw them go undefeated and win the national championship, regardless of the Connor Stallion stuff. So it doesn't taking away a win doesn't do anything, but taking away the playoff eligibility, moving him back down to the point standings, a 25-point penalty, spotter suspended for 3 weeks. Am I missing
Now he's
anything?
stuck with Brett Griffin.
Hey, Brett seems like cool sometimes.
Unless he's on Twitter or X. I don't want Elon Musk to sue me for calling it Twitter.
You remember when Elon Musk was actually kind of funny and not just like a right wing, like this isn't a political statement, but I mean he kind of just like cannot are we
So
keeping it
like
PG?
2021.
He I think I can say this without he just kind of glazes Donald Trump and it's weird.
Well, Will now, guys. I just want to go ahead and give this breaking news. Will wound up in the bottom of a boat somewhere, dead tomorrow because of the announcement that he just made on the show. Me, however, I did not say that, so I will wind up somewhere else, still dead, but in a less gruesome way, just for being associated with him.
That is true and also true. But that means, I mean, did I forget anything about the Austin Dillon? I mean, obviously, hefty fines were let out. How
Joey
did he end up
Logano had
getting
a
fined?
$50,000 fine for his
Yeah,
burnout in front of Austin
yeah.
Dillon's family. Also, you said the spotter was suspended. Brett Griffin will be a spotter. Brett Griffin will be a fine spotter for Daytona, where it will be most important next weekend. One more thing before we get into the race: Haas factory team back in the news this weekend. They have set their Xfinity driver lineup, and they somehow have poached Sheldon Creed from Joe Gibbs and taken Sam Mayer away from Junior Motorsports. So they should have 2 playoff cars next year in Xfinity. Don't know how they did that. They must be getting a lot of RFK support with this if they were able to get those 2 drivers. And I'm sure these 2 drivers see a more clear path to the Cup Series in this situation than they would have with Junior Motorsports or Joe Gibbs. That is the only reason I could see them doing this move.
Yeah, and then also I want to say because we didn't say it last week, we kind of called for action with NASCAR real quick. We got to do the right thing. We got to give NASCAR their flowers for also just making the right decision. I like we didn't get to say that, but I mean, when's the last time you can think of where you can kind of just look at the decision NASCAR made and go, oh yeah, yeah, that's it. And now and again, like back to the Sheldon Creed and Sam Mayer to it's going to be hard not to say SHR, but to Haas Factory. Um, are we thinking that it's kind of going to be like a Richard Childress situation where like they just pour a lot of their stuff into the Xfinity program because they like it more?
I think that's just what it is because they're still the lead Ford team in Xfinity. They're going to be the lead Ford team there because I do not see Ford giving all of the resources to RSS Racing, which will be the only other Ford team in the Xfinity series, unless you count AM Racing, which we don't know the future of that team. They are going through drivers this year back and forth. We don't know how much funding they will have without Haley Deegan next year. So this also does confirm that Haley Deegan will not be a Haas Factory team. So what is her future? That's another question. But no, yes, I think they'll be the top Ford team in Xfinity. And but shout out to RSS Racing. Matt Benedetto got a top 10 this week, and Ryan Sieg is only 1 point out of the playoffs right now, going toe to toe with Sammy Smith and Brandon Jones, 2 other Junior Motorsports cars. So just an outstanding season for Ryan Sieg this year. But
Which,
I think you're right.
by the way, Matt, for those unacquainted, explain why you talked about him and De Benedetto in the same breath.
Because Matt Benedetto drives for that team now in the Xfinity series. He has 3 top 10s on the season, which that car went from DNQing from 3 races to start the season to 3 top 10s when he took over. Blaine Perkins also drives for that team, but we don't talk about him. He is most known for flipping in the O2 car a couple years ago. And then Kyle Sieg does a fine job. But speaking of Kyle Sieg, he took a tumble on the on the Michigan backstretch this weekend. There's another tumble in the Cup race we'll talk about when we get to the Cup race. But
Yeah.
speaking of the Xfinity race, I'll just go ahead and say it. Justin Allgaier won the Xfinity race. They ruined the race though by giving them the Super Speedway package. Part of why they had their flip, but it was just not a good show because NASCAR decided to nerf their best car this weekend. So that was fun. But
Yeah, I mean, we had one officiating decision where you really do go like, oh, NASCAR made the objective right one, and then you have the decision with the Xfinity car. But that being said, on to the Cup race, which ended up stretching over the course of really 2 afternoons. I He's gone away. Now he's back.
oh, guys, I'm cheating for my top 10 because that's what we start with now. So I was getting prepared. I'm cheating though. You want to hear the top 10, Will?
Yeah, go ahead and run down the yeah, go ahead and run down the top 10.
First place, much to Will's celebration, was Mr. Tyler Reddick. This will also allow, I don't know if we'll get a chance to talk about it later. This also gives him the regular season points lead, which is a huge playoff point advantage going into the playoffs over Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Larson. But all those guys with 2 races left are within 30 points of each other. So this is going to be an amazing battle over the next 2 weeks to watch. Second place for William Byron. That team really needed a shot in the arm after a tough couple months. Same for Ty Gibbs, who I think saved his season because after the rain delay, he was running in 26 with Bubba Wallace in the top 5. It was not looking good for that team, but they were able to come home third. Kyle Busch, 4th place finish, led a bunch of laps, looked really good. Maybe this will be something for that 18. Maybe they can go into Darlington and get a win. Daytona, I think you can win anyways. 5th place, Brad. 6th place, well, Brad Keselowski for you guys who aren't as well acquainted with him as I am. 6th place, Chris Buescher, who again gave himself a little bit more of a gap, 16 points up. 7th place for Zane Smith. We're getting to say his name a lot more in this top 10. I think this is his 3rd of the year, and they've all came over the last 6 races. Nice run for the 71 team. Daniel Suarez is 3rd straight top 10, building some momentum before the playoffs. Maybe the best Trackhouse car. 9th place, Denny Hamlin. Great recovery after spinning out before the rain delay. And for the 3rd straight week, Carson Hocevar in the top 10 has taken the lead of the Rookie of the Year standings as well in the 77 car. And as Will mentioned a second ago, this was really a tale of 2 different races because you had the first 51 laps and then you had the last one, 48 laps. Will, I'm sure you'd love to talk about the first 51 laps, but unfortunately, I know you didn't get to really watch them. But Will did get to watch the rest of the race. So what I'll do real quick is run you down going out of the rain delay. So the first 51 laps, it was smushed in between 2 rain delays because, again, we schedule Michigan in August now because we are smart and we know how the weather works. So this is the 2nd straight year that Michigan got like the first quarter of the race in and then rain hit. Kyle Larson would go out to an early lead. Denny Hamlin would chase him down, but as he was going to make a pass, Bubba Wallace would make a 3-wide bonsai move for the lead, and it would look like he had the fastest car early. Denny Hamlin would make a move to pass Bubba Wallace late in the stage, but spin out. This would allow pit strategy to creep in and allow Ryan Blaney to take the lead, but not so fast, Ryan Blaney. Chase Elliott and Bubba Wallace come screaming through the field to try to take their stage win. But unfortunately for them, they would run out of time. Ryan Blaney would win the stage, followed by those 2. Ryan Blaney would then pit, but then the rains would come. So then the race would start with Chase Elliott in the lead and Bubba Wallace right beside him in 2nd place.
Okay, and then also, I kind of want to walk back a narrative I've been pushing on the show because the more I hear drivers, crew chiefs, and spotters talk, I can't say that these cars are actually very glued to the ground and not difficult to drive because we'll talk about this later on. But I mean, we have the best driver in the world spinning on his own later on in this thing. But I mean, they talked about on Door Bumper Clear. I mean, Freddie Kraft talked about, when Bubba rocketed out to the lead, like, you would think that he would have just started walking away, but then he said the second he got out there, he got loose. So I think that's another thing we talked about on the State of the Union episode, which people they loved it and watched it.
Hey,
But
we have one more viewer on that than we did last week's episode because they've been too busy watching your college football content.
But
guys, I was in that video too. I was in the back.
He was in the video, and he made takes that were different than mine.
They were.
Anyway.
I would love to make an NFL video so I could speak with factual, lyrical, spiritual miracles.
I have NFL videos ready to go. But that being said, so I just kind of want to walk that back because I gotta admit I was wrong. Kind of like the Bubba Wallace making the playoffs thing. I still think I'm wrong about that. I think he's gonna make it. But uh, unfortunately with Bubba Wallace, I feel like the biggest story of this race, aside from a couple accidents and the officiating at the end. The story of the race was the bubble because the bubble actually got very chaotic. It looked like Bubba Wallace in this thing was going to take pretty firm control, and then
One
like
point
the
in this
car,
race, guys, Ty Gibbs was out of the playoffs, and he ended the race with a 40-point cushion. That's how
yeah,
it kept switching.
and I mean, let's see, Bubba Wallace, Chris Buescher, and Ross Chastain all involved in wrecks in the late stage of this race that like flip flopped the bubble over and over
And
again.
you heard me say his name. Chris Buescher came back and finished sixth, and he took pretty significant contact in that big one that the best driver in the world set off.
Yeah. Which we'll get to that in a minute. But the other thing I want to talk about, that in my opinion is very concerning, and we have to do something. Corey LaJoy flipping. So look, very respectable people. You know, I won't name any names, but very respectable people in racing are kind of pushing there. Like, we drive cars really fast. They're gonna take flight sometimes. I get that. This is a problem with the car though that we can fix. We can't just say like, oh, these cars are very susceptible to taking to the air, but it's fine. They go fast. It's gonna happen anyway. It's kind of like the car tomorrow. Why do we have the stupid wing on the back? I as a kid I thought it looked cool. As an adult, I actually still think it looked cool, but I don't know aerodynamically how anyone ever thought that was a good idea, and I still don't know how anyone thinks it's a good idea to have the bottoms of these cars be flat as paper, because that is why Corey LaJoy ended up taking to the air. Now, I will say this is another Corey LaJoy meme because kind of seems like he, he he found a new way to embarrass himself in the midst of this race. This has just been a god awful year for Corey LaJoy, and this just sucks. But
Tried
he,
to carry. Now, guys, there's no proof. Maybe the SMT data will come out. Maybe somebody that wants to make a meme will put it out there. Noah Gragson did kind of cut him off a couple laps in a row, and then it seemed that he turned into Noah Gragson and spun himself on the backstretch. I do want to add on to your flip comment because it was mentioned on the broadcast that the reason the car did lift like paper was because there was 30-mile-an-hour winds in Michigan. That is part of it. I agree with you. We have to fix the bottom of the car because it still shouldn't be taking off like that. But that's why it did that and has not in other instances at Michigan because we've had the same exact spin in this car and it didn't do that. But you need to be able to account for the winds because I mean it's called the Great Lakes State for a reason. There's going to be wind. But
yeah, I will say though, yeah, we have had the exact same spin in this car where it didn't pick up, but there have been plenty of instances of cars getting airborne. Also, by the way, not even just the cars getting airborne. The fact that we have cars getting stuck in the grass, though it benefited me during the course of this race, but the fact that we have cars getting stuck in the grass after spinning out, that sucks. That's just lame. But
AJ
the bottom of the
Allmendinger lost
cars,
4 laps in this race because of that.
but the bottom of these cars being flat is it's a detriment. We need to fix it. But yeah, just kind of weird situation with Corey there. His interview was honestly tough to watch because this is a guy that for a minute was like one of the underdogs and like sort of like sleeper picks in the sport. And I'm sorry, but he's just it's hard for me to believe that that car doesn't have speed when you watch what his teammates are doing. I hope Corey can really figure something out. Um, because it actually really does suck to see the fall off of Corey LaJoy. The fall off of Corey LaJoy needs to be stunning. Uh, but yeah, anyway.
Um, just the wrong
Oh, he's
way.
going away.
What?
You went away. You
I
leave your
know I slid to the left. Slide to the There you go. I'll say something weird to help you out there. But Corey LaJoy, we'll top this off before we get pause. We'll top this off by ending this talking. I don't know what I'm saying. But Denny Hamlin had a funny little soundbite where he said, God, Corey LaJoie's out of control. Everyone else was just asking if he was okay, but Denny Hamlin was like, man, this dude is just out of control on the radio. Just to show that there are some good guys. Ryan Freese and Bubba Wallace were very concerned. They were hit their radio very quickly and asked if Corey was okay. So not everybody was making fun of Corey, but because it was a very severe accident, go watch it. It's not fun to watch. But let's get
You got
into
to
the
hear
second
something
half of
rare,
this.
which was Jeff Burton being critical of NASCAR.
Not possible. I watched the race and I can't even believe that. I mean, I heard it, but it just did not happen. By the way, I'm just noticing your profile picture. Is that silver spoon supposed to be Austin Dillon?
It's not supposed to be. It is.
Oh, well,
Austin
see,
Dillon
guys,
is a talented
race.
race car driver, just relative to the rest of the field, he's annoying and lame.
All right.
I
Well,
hope he's probably a good guy at home, but as a race car driver and a public figure, I don't like him.
well, Austin Dillon's Life in the Fast Lane sure was a quality show.
No,
Just ask
no,
Rotten
no, no.
Tomatoes. Okay. Well, let's get
Anyways,
to that big accident that I know you don't want to talk about. But again, I mentioned pit strategy. There was another caution. It was the AJ Allmendinger caution that I mentioned earlier when 3 cars blew a tire on the same lap, which is just really weird when Todd Gilliland, Joey Logano, and AJ Allmendinger all blew tires pretty much ending all their days. Except Todd Gilliland would have a really funny moment in this crash. But and Joey Logano would be in this crash, but they were laps down when they were in the crash. But Kyle Larson would go to pass Cody Ware, who was running in the top 10 at the time due to
we'll
strategy.
just brush over that.
Which do I say it? I kind of have to. Cody Ware has been decent in all of his starts this year, except for that one. Sorry to women everywhere for saying that. Yeah. I guess black and blue pays the bills these days. All right, so going on. Moving on. Here we go. Kyle Larson would go to pass Cody Ware. But Cody Ware would make the block that everybody's been making all day and drive into the corner just fine. Kyle Larson's car would not, however, drive into the corner just fine, as he would get very loose. He would lose it in front of Bubba Wallace and Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott would avoid the crash, but Bubba Wallace would not. Bubba Wallace would slam into Kyle Larson, just nowhere to go. Did not end his day, but ended his competitive day, leading to a 26th place finish for the 23 team. Several cars behind them would pile in, including Chris Buescher, and it looked like Chris Buescher's day was done because he took a hard hit when Todd Gilliland decided to go kamikaze on these motherfuckers and drive all the way up the track.
Okay, so this is not a PG episode. Sorry, Emily.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be watching. If she is, I'm very fucking sorry. All right, so Todd Gilliland would drive up the track into a bunch of cars, including Chris Buescher and Joey Logano. I have no idea what Todd Gilliland was doing. It was very interesting. Todd Gilliland, I love you, bud, but I guess something in the car broke, or you just wanted to destroy after your accident. But that made this wreck a little bigger. It would take out Chase Briscoe. And then, of course, because Christopher Bell, we did not say at the top of the show, won this race, he was in this accident because if he's not winning, he's in the garage area.
Yes.
So Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell, and Kyle Larson, Todd Gilliland, Joey Logano, all out of the race from this accident. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. This Chris Buescher would continue somehow with his damage. I think strategy and getting him back into the top 10 kind of helped with the car handling. And Bubba Wallace's car was just kind of killed just with where the damage was. And but like Will said, due to another accident later on in the race, Bubba did get kind of bailed a little bit. But you have to wonder what if for the 23 team, because their teammate pulled in the victory lane. And I think Bubba Wallace had a car that could have also pulled into victory lane because he was faster than Tyler Reddick all day. So you got to wonder there, but they still have a fighting shot. But Daytona, 75% of the cars will be in the garage area by the end of the race. So they just got to hope there's not a new winner and they're not in the garage area.
Yeah, it just sucks. It's another year of what ifs for Bubba Wallace and the 23 team.
That's also what Cody Ware's girlfriend was thinking. What if I chose someone else?
Okay. Okay. Oh, anyway, so we get down to the end of this thing. I actually can't decide what aspect of this to really talk about first. We have a certain amount of minutes left, which I'm not sure about. So we're just gonna go and hope we don't get cut off. Um, that being said, we get down to the end of
Four.
this race, and bada bing, bada boom. Well, first off, about what lap was the Kyle Larson incident? Would you say?
I think it was the very end of stage. Yeah, it was the end of stage 2 because Kyle Busch won a stage. He did it.
Kyle Busch won a stage, and
Yeah,
also later in the race, creative pit strategy got him out in the front of the field, but obviously he was out there on two tires, and eventually got passed by the field. I think he held on to fourth in that cycle, though, right?
yeah, yeah. And that's also where he finished. If you would have listened to the top 10 when
I
I
know he finished fourth, but I could like there were cautions, Matthew. It wasn't just that run to the end.
a caution, should it have been? I
Okay,
know
yeah,
he
now we're gonna talk about it.
was Martin, but
Ooh, yeah, we talk about NASCAR's officiating and how if they did the good thing, they didn't let Austin Dillon back his way to the playoffs in egregious
I
fashion.
want my restitution for the 2015 Fall Talladega race.
You should get it. Now, let me tell you something. So Tyler Reddick takes firm control of this race. It is his to lose. He has set sail. And then Martin Truex Jr. He blows a tire and taps the wall. He blew a tire, right? I'm not crazy.
I actually don't
Did he just
100%
make
know.
contact with? I think he might have just slapped the wall.
NBC just very much did not talk about this. I by this point in the race, I could not have audio on, so I kind of had it. I was taking notes very strongly in class for sure. But I had it on my phone, but I was in class, so I couldn't have the audio. So I was watching, but I couldn't hear. But they never cut back to it. I think
No,
I know
the only
Tart made a
cutting
comment.
back they did was again for they. You know how announcers do. Like a lot of the times, unless they're Dale Jr. just saying straight up get rid of the double line rule. A lot of times announcers say like if something BS happens, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, well, if you're Tyler Reddick, you got to be cursing out NASCAR right now." The announcers knew how BS this was. There was not any bit of debris or anybody remotely in danger. Uh, he wasn't off the pace drastically enough. This was a phantom yellow to try and make this thing more interesting. NASCAR continues to not learn their lessons. Matt's crying laughing. But NASCAR refuses to learn their lesson. Like, don't get me wrong, restarts are fun, but they're not racing. They're restarts, and incidentally, they're fine. Matt, you shouldn't be hearting this. You shouldn't be celebrating this. You should now. You should be surprised. That is true. You should be surprised that this was a caution.
We're gonna run out of time. What
We
happened to
are.
Ross
Anyway,
Chastain, William?
okay. Anyway, so caution comes out, and you kind of just sit there and go, "Oh no." Then next restart, bubble driver Ross Chastain goes spinning through the infield. We just got the running out of time message. So we have 10 minutes. We're good. Um, but Ross Chastain goes spinning through the infield. He also gets parked in the grass because the bottom of these cars are flat. We have cars that are boats. They are boats.
Oops.
And I don't mean like Casey Boat, host of Door Bumper Clear.
Okay. Wow.
Got
Wow.
him.
All right. So William Byron would take the lead on this restart away from Tyler Reddick, and it was looking like, oh no, they have ruined Tyler Reddick's race. But on the next restart, Tyler Reddick would take the lead. Also, side note in that Ross Chastain crash, Alex Bowman was also involved. You said
Huh?
what?
What?
What about? Okay. Alex Bowman was also involved, and it would end his day pretty much as he would finish behind Bubba Wallace. And if he did that in this race, you have a bad day. But then I'm sorry. Then Tyler Reddick would take the lead away from William Byron on the final restart of the race. He would run and bring back the sunshine for the redheaded boy. And then Chase Elliott did a thing on the last lap in turn 1 and 2, got real loose, slid up into Ryan Blaney. He lost a whole bunch of points for both of them.
He hit the brakes. Guys, Chase Elliott isn't a talented race car driver.
And then Tyler Reddick, despite I didn't realize how close it was, but William Byron made a pretty big run on the front stretch, but Tyler Reddick was able to hold him at bay and win. And it would become the second time this season that Tyler Reddick won and Corey LaJoie flipped. So that's kind of funny. Also, Michael Jordan was there for Tyler Reddick's first win. He was there on Sunday, but I do not believe he made the trip on Monday, much to Tyler Reddick's dismay. Also, I need to mention this. Sadly, Kurt Busch was arrested last week, guys. So keep Kurt Busch in your thoughts and prayers for his
funny bit anymore.
Drinking. Drinking is very bad, as we discussed on the Justin Timberlake episode. Do not drink. Drinking is bad. Doing good things is good, like the poor, helping the poor. Doing the
poor? Goodness gracious. Doing the poor?
I'm not going to put it at the end, but if you watch for this long of the episode, there is one of your sponsors dead on the floor. There you go. Will killed them because he did not support them. Dead.
Why were you and Dante creeping on volleyball practice?
I was actually doing
photographs of these unsuspecting girls.
So see,
this ain't very no Diddy of you.
You know what? I think you should not talk anymore. I don't know. I don't know how to say this. Somehow I made jokes about black and purple on this episode.
You make jokes about black people? What the hell, man?
No, I did. Actually, I did. No, I made jokes about Cody Ware beating his girlfriend, and somehow I didn't make the worst jokes on this episknow.
Yes, you did.
And the rest of our time, let's sit down and have the episode recap. How do you think we did? You know what? This is what the people come for.
We're done. This is our performance review. I don't want to talk about my performance reviews.
No. We're gonna sit down. This is an episode review right here. The people that stayed this long deserve some bonus content. So how did we do? What do we need to work on?
Well, I think at the end of the day,
you do me and I do you. Not like that, but like no. Jordan would not be okay with that. Stop. No.
She said it's what Matt says. Nothing about.
Now, Will, I want my report card.
I'm not everyone. I just want to make this known. Myself and Matthew, platonic. Stop speculating. I see all the fan fictions on the Reddit. Y'all shipping us together. We have a massive fan base who does that.
Well, not if you don't support our sponsors.
Shut up. Two boys can be friends without loving on each other physically. Now, if they want to do that, that's their right as an American. But
so, Will, you remember that report card?
You don't get to do this. You're taking pictures of girls and putting it on the internet. You want me to give your performance review? You're a creep. You're a weirdo. You don't belong here.
I thought you were gonna start singing the Radiohead song.
That's what I was doing.
I'm a creep. Okay, I'll stop.
Oh, what a beautiful voice.
Thanks. Actually, you know what, Will? This is how we're gonna end this episode. Just because I sang and everybody's throwing up, I want you to sing the Martin Truex thing. It's Martin Truex's last season. Come on, Napa Know How. Come on.
No, I'm not singing Napa Know How. You
just one verse. One verse.
Broken Heart.
No,
I can't help you. I'm not singing.
Sing the song, or I will sing "Creep" by Radiohead again.
What if we sing the song together?
No, they've already heard me sing. They've already heard my grunge 90s voice.
I don't do a singing voice whenever I do Martin Truex.
If you don't, okay, you know what? I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. Whoever, if Chase Elliott beats Bubba Wallace at Daytona, you have to start off the episode by singing it. But if Bubba Wallace beats Chase Elliott at Daytona, I'll sing something that you want me to sing to start off the next episode.
Deal. Let's shake hands on it.
What do you want me to sing?
Ooh. I could get you in a lot of trouble, but I'm not going to do it. You
Do
can
it.
sing Double Life by Pharrell Williams.
Actually, okay, yeah. There's no.
No, that's not the actual.
Oh, okay.
I'll surprise him.
No. They need to hear this before we sign off.
I don't know. Let me look at my Spotify. I don't know. You could no,
Oh,
I know
now I'm
exactly.
really worried.
No, my God, I know exactly what you're gonna sing. You're gonna sing "Just Lose It."
I don't know that.
Mow, 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 mow.
Okay,
Mow,
hey.
mow.
Guess who's back?
You giving it away for free?
Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Now, everyone, boy, to the dance floor. To the dance floor. Everyone, boy, to the dance floor. All right, stop. Pajama time. Come here, little kitties. On my lap. Guess who's back with a brand new rap? But I don't mean rap as in any case. So shout out to the station act. You say, whoa. You see what you did? You got me singing Eminem on the show. Sign it off. Come on. This is going to be
Sign it off, but I thought we were going to try and recreate the bit from last time when we talked. We have 2 minutes and 12, 10, 8, 6.
Will, support our sponsors. Look at what they go through for you. All right? Look at what they go through.
It's so funny to me. The show, like, we're still talking. The show ended 5 minutes ago, and we are going to upload this as is. Like, this is just like
the bonus content. This is what they get for sticking around.
Hey guys, in the future when we have a Patreon, this is the kind of stuff you can pay for.
OnlyFans, not Patreon. What the hell do you think this is? 2012?
Patreon. That's like if you want to, you're stupid.
No,
if you want to,
you're
like
stuck
2018. That's like 2012.
You have to sell pictures of yourself.
World ain't ending.
You have to sell pictures of yourself to be successful. Okay. All right. I've been Matt, and I might need some training.
Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away.
Okay, well, please sign yourself out.
Sign myself. I'm not doing that. We're going right down to the bitter end.
Oh my God.
You're gonna watch me play on my phone.
Okay, guys. Let's talk about some things. Dow extended with Richard Tillis Racing to continue to sponsor Austin Dillon. I have no idea why you do that. This weekend. Ronald Reagan will be sponsoring Ty Gibbs next week. Joey Gase will be back in the field in a Cup Series race. Do the thing. Wait, Joey Gase. Come on. Right. That's copyright. No. That's copyright.
It'll be distorted enough. We know Disney's very loose with their copyright.
Copyright, guys. Copyright. Do you have anything else to add about NASCAR? That's kind of what the show is about. Chase Elliott tiring points and Bubba Wallace guy.